We are glad to see you again on our channel. And today, we have a review of a movie where a lot of people and cars end up in a smoke trap in a tunnel. The film is about salvation, hope, and mutual help. The film begins with the fact that Norway has more than 100 tunnels, and most without emergency exits and first aid points. A man in a truck is driving down a snowy road. The girl sits in front of a monument in the cemetery and says that dad won't come and that she'll probably have a new mom soon. The mountain plateau, the direction of the eastern entrance, 950 meters above sea level. Visibility on the road is very poor, with all the snow seeping. The man at the wheel says the road is still there, and the main thing is to concentrate and take it slow. The boy next to him laughs and says that he is distracted by the gearbox. The cars are in a column. The car with the man and the boy goes first. A speeding car passes by. A man radios another freighter, and the guy tells him that someone broke out of the convoy and was speeding. Vic, 2 kilometers above sea level. The woman is talking on the phone with a man. She is on the street where everything is being decorated for the new year. The convoy stops and sees a car that has overtaken them. The male driver asks to take his car back to the road. They are stuck in the snow. He says they're late for the play. There's a boy in the passenger seat. The lorry driver says he has no time, but he can call a tow truck, but it will not be soon. The driver is ready to wait. Stein, West Road Transport Center. Girl operator stays on second shift because someone has to stay. East entrance. Workers in orange jackets regulate the exit of cars from the tunnel. One worker comes to replace the other. A man driving a truck is listening to a voicemail from his daughter saying she's standing by her mother's grave and he's always waiting. The next scene shows a girl holding her breath in the pool for a while. The workman in the tunnel, Stein, picks up the phone. The woman on the other end asks if he's coming yet. The man replies that he is in the tunnel and the communication can be cut off. He enters the technical room, 4 kilometers from the entrance to the tunnel. There's a plastic bag on the ground, and the wind is blowing it through the tunnel. The girl in the pool swims up and then dives again. Eliza, west entrance. The man at the wheel is trying to call his daughter, but she has voicemail. Vika snow clearing station. Girl beats guy in chess. The boys discuss that the snow will soon increase and the man on Tesla will not get into the tunnel. A man stuck in the snow is trying to stop passing cars. Mountain Tavern at the east entrance. Tanker driver, Tom, smokes a cigarette. He meets the truck driver behind him, asking if he is going to the other side too. He says his name is Anatol. Tom tells him that he is driving the kitchen and that this is his first job. Tom tells him that he needs to get past the pass before the road skids. Tom gets in the car. He is knocked by an informal guy, Anatol, and asks for a ride, but Tom refuses because the cargo does not allow. He advises him to ask Anatol. He says on the radio that he always rides alone and no fellow travelers. Worker Stein listens on the radio that an assault warning is announced. He enters the snow removal station. He says the weather is changing quickly. He says goodbye to everyone. His shift is over. Colleagues wish him a Merry Christmas and say he is happy because he is going to Ingridge. They comment that it's as if he won the lottery as he hit the jackpot. He goes to the locker room and changes. Stein comes home, calls his daughter Eliza, but she is not home. He enters her room and looks at her things. There's a video on her laptop of a girl standing with flowers by her mom's bed in the hospital. Ingridge offers a mulled wine for a man with glasses. He asks if Stein is coming soon because he wants to talk to him. Stein gets in the car and calls Eliza again, leaving her a voice message that they need to talk. He says he'll stop by the store and wait for her at home. The female bus driver loads the passengers' belongings into the trunk and says they are leaving soon. Stein enters the cafe at Ingridge. The girl says that Eliza is here and waiting for him at the table. A man hooks up with his daughter and she points to his clock, saying that she waited a long time for him. He says he was at work. The girl is sarcastic that he had time to come here. Stein asks what her new record is underwater and tries to make her laugh. Eliza says she is no longer 10 years old. Ingrid approaches them and asks them if they want anything to eat. Eliza reminds Stein that he wanted to talk. Stein is careful to say that he and Ingrid had plans for Christmas, and it would have been nice to have a threesome. Eliza asks whether Ingrid no longer has anyone to celebrate, to which the woman answers affirmatively. Eliza asks if Ingrid is pregnant. She laughs, says, "No," and leaves. Eliza looks at Stein and asks if she will have a new mother. She's upset her dad doesn't talk about her at all. Stein promises her that they will never forget Mom, but explains that 3 years have passed and they need to move on. He has to move on. Eliza gets angry and asks if this is all her father remembered from the grief management seminar. She stands up and abruptly leaves the cafe. When asked by his father, "Where are you going?" she says that he and Ingrid are not concerned. Stein also leaves the cafe. Eliza walks along the road. A bus passes by and she stops it. Eliza enters. There is a woman driver. She says the trip will take about 7 hours. Eliza closes a message from her father offering to have dinner together at 6 Gao. She cries. There's a family in the car, a woman driving, a man next to her, 2 girls in the back arguing over whose hamster it is. The man asks if they have pills, to which the woman replies that only painkillers that are unlikely to help with the hangover. They're going to a mountain pass. Eliza is approached by a guy and asks where she is going. The girl answers that at Christmas at her grandmother's. He hooks up with her and asks what happened. Without an answer, the guy says that he is going to his mother, her turn. She has new children, and the new friend loves Christmas. The tanker driver and the truck driver drive up to the place where the workers are pulled out of the snow by Tesla. Eliza's bus enters the tunnel from the west entrance. From the east entrance, there is Tom on his tanker. He is barely keeping to sleep. Anatol calls him on the radio and wants to tell the story of how he was robbed by a fellow traveler once. Tom tries to take the walkie-talkie without taking his eyes off the road, but he fails. He gives up. His eyes close. Suddenly, on the windshield to him flies the same package that circled the tunnel. Tom is frightened and starts to press the brake. Naturally, the tanker cannot be stopped so easily. The car crashes several times on the right side of the tunnel wall. The driver hits his head. Soon the tanker stops. Tom quickly inspects the car for damage and then picks up the phone and calls the alarm center, Förde. The operator receives a call from Tom. He says that he blocked the road in the tunnel, but apparently no leak. Car with family, where there are the girls and the hamster, drive into the tunnel. The female operator at the West Traffic Center closes the tunnel through the computer. Anatol, the driver of the truck, tries to turn around in the tunnel, but he fails and blocks the road with his car. The girl operator contacts Tom. She asks how close he is to the entrance and on which side he came. He says he wants to go ahead with the truck, but he can't because he's blocking the road. The cameraman says he doesn't need to. Communication is broken. Tom tells the driver of the truck to try to turn around. The cars arrive, whose drivers are angry. On the west side, 4 kilometers from the entrance, the bus with Eliza stops. In front of them, a lot of cars, and the girl assumes that there is an accident. The camera girl is going through the security footage at the entrance, and she reckons that the tanker's car must have passed 2 to 3 kilometers from the start of the tunnel. Firehouse Stange. Firefighters got a call and will be there in 50 minutes. At the snow-blowing station, the guys also get a team to leave. Stein receives a call from Christian, who says a tanker crashed into the wall of the tunnel. They arrive at the snow removal station. They're talking about the police being able to get here in an hour and dealing with it themselves. On the mountain plateau, from the eastern entrance, weather worsens. 2 kilometers from the eastern entrance, one car crashes into another, next to a family with 2 girls and a hamster. The father of the family is removing the fire extinguisher. The girl operator tries to contact Tom. On the west side of the car, from the snow removal station, approaches the tunnel. Tom runs around the car and tells everyone around that they need to leave. Suddenly, he notices a puddle under the car and leans over to check. He climbs under the tank and realizes that it is fuel. One spark from damaged truck wires and the whole tanker explodes. The fire and smoke from the explosion fill the entire tunnel. Rescue crews from Vic are approaching the west entrance. They see black smoke from the tunnel. People say there are many cars inside. Rescuers discuss among themselves that the tunnel ventilation is directed towards them, and the evacuation is provided for the east entrance. But there has come an avalanche of snow that is being cleared, so all hope is for them. The cameraman explains to the boss that the fire is on the east side, but he does not understand why the fire extinguisher was removed from the west side. Rescuers, including Stein, are scouting the tunnel. The family in the tunnel left the car and is standing right in the smoke, trying to call outside, but no connection. Father tries to find it, but he is hit by a car that is driving through the tunnel. The driver of the truck, Anatol, calls the girl operator and says that he saw the explosion of the tanker. Explains that they did not drive more than 2 kilometers from the entrance. She says she's switching the fans. Christian speaks on Stein's walkie-talkie that they need to get out of the tunnel. Employees go out and say, there is a lot of smoke in the tunnel, but there is no fire. The people on the bus are going to walk down the tunnel, but Eliza dissuades everyone, explaining that there is smoke everywhere and they just suffocate. She also says that there is a room where you can hide and breathe normally. People get off the bus but begin to go the other way. Eliza shows them that the room is on the other side and tells them to duck and breathe through the clothes, but she is not listened to. Ingrid sees on TV a video that was shot by someone who managed to get out of the tunnel. The video shows Eliza. Ingrid calls Stein and says that his daughter is in the tunnel. He realizes that the girl took the bus. Stein takes everything he needs, gets in the car, and enters the tunnel. Eliza calls the girl operator and asks to tell her father that they are in the called cave, technical room for workers. One of the employees outside puts fans at maximum. Eliza takes people into the cave and extracts oxygen, allowing everyone to breathe in turns. Stein drives up to the bus, puts on a gas mask, goes inside. He sees the inscription on the glass cave and realizes that the daughter went there. At this time, the cave runs out of oxygen and several people go back into the tunnel. Eliza and the guy see the air vent and crawl in with the ones who are left. The street workers are not allowed to enter, and one of them says that on Stein's radio. At this time, a car pulls out of the tunnel, in which is a woman who lost her daughters in the tunnel. Stein gets to the cave and finds in the ventilation hatch Eliza, gives her to breathe oxygen. He distributes all gas masks. They're about to go to the exit, as Stein's walkie-talkie says. There are 2 girls nearby. Stein puts everyone in the car and tells them to leave. Eliza doesn't listen to him and goes with him. Stein finds the girls in one of the cars. They begin to go to the exit, but Stein feels bad after inhaling smoke. His daughter finds him. She contacts by radio and asks for help. At the other end of the radio, Ingrid is sitting behind the wheel and hears everything. She enters the tunnel with another worker. They find Stein, Eliza, and the girls. As they go to the machine, the fans that are right above them do not withstand the voltage and break. Something collapses on Stein and the other worker who pulled him out. The worker dies. Stein, Eliza, and everyone else are leaving the tunnel. The girl operator asks to talk to the girls who were rescued. The film ends with the scene where Stein, Eliza, and Ingrid leaving the cemetery where Eliza's mother is buried. Papa! This is a Norwegian film, Tunnelen, in the genres of action, thriller, drama, directed by Paul Oye.